All right. Sorry about that. I forgot to tape it. And I forgot to record it. I guess I should say that. Okay. So I'm going to share the screen again. So just kind of start over because I think they do put this on the website. So what I'll do is I'll just go back. Okay. And I'll talk about this. All right. So when you go into Weebly.com, all right, you can just go into sign up, click on that. So this little box, we keep moving it around. And you should be able to go into a free website. Okay. So here is the sign up. You just put your name in and go from there. Okay. So now I'll go into the website. Okay, see if I can log in. It wants to make sure I'm not a robot. And fire hydrants. Don't you just love these? Okay, I guess I didn't check all the images. All right. Here's a fire hydrant. There we are. Okay. Crosswalks. Sorry about this. I don't know. Yes. Okay. Oh, they really want to make sure that you are not a robot. Okay. Okay. So we'll come up here. Okay, so I'm trying, it says I already have an account. So again, I can just log in with my username and password. So there's a little bit of a glitch. Shouldn't have been. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so, all right, close password. Okay, so this was the website that I put together for my class when we went for COVID. I did work on some of this while I was getting my PhD, okay? And I made this for my Pilates class and my yoga class. So as you can see, I have and I'm probably gonna have to keep moving this thing around here a little bit. If everybody can see this, this is a little bit helpful to have this over here. Okay, so I put together my front page. Okay, so I have my presentations. I have different poses. I wrote an ebook a long time ago, and I gave students access to that. I put in a Prezi, so I copied and pasted my Prezi so I could talk to them about yoga. I put some music in. They wanted to do the Prezi, so they can find that in the website. Okay, and so then I went to history. So I wanted to give them a history lesson about yoga. So again, of course, this can be your personal website. This can be a class. This can be, a lot of different things. Again, with COVID, it is nice to have something that's a little bit unique, a little bit different. So here I put in another Prezi that I created for the history of yoga. I did the health benefits of yoga, and I put in a Glogster I did. Okay, so that was another one, and different information about yoga. I also created a page for yogic breathing, and I was able to put in a PowerPoint slide that I created about yoga and the breath. So this was another way that students could access some of this information. I put in my yoga book link, okay, and I gave them information how to get in without being charged for the book. I wrote it quite a while ago, but then they were able to click on that and go in, and they could actually view the book, which had some information in that. So I was able to link that into there. Let's see, this isn't running slow. It kind of is. Okay, there. So this was the book I made. So it was kind of interesting where they could go in and view the book. So that was something else they could do. I linked this into assignments. And here was, so this went right into Canvas. Now I'm logged into Canvas. Okay. So if you're not logged into Canvas, it's not going to just get you into some, Canvas site. I'm logged into Canvas on my computer. And then I linked this to an outside video that I did. So these were videos I made for class. And this was another one that students could watch the video. Okay. So I thought that this seemed to go over very well with students. And they seemed to, I got some very good reviews on this website. So that's kind of an overview. Now, so how do we make a website like this? Well, I'll show you. Okay, so at first, we want to come down here, okay, and this will show all the websites. Here's another one I did on multimedia even, and explaining what multimedia was. Now, this wasn't for a class, but this was, so you can make these topical. So, again, this was about multiple intelligence and web design. This is what I did for my PhD. So again, you can make these on all different types of areas. You can make them for classes, you can make them personal, anything that you want to do. So these were, these are the websites. Now I can add a site. So I click here and I click on add site. Okay. Now I just need a site. So if you have a business, you could even use this for an online store, and you can you can link that into some types of credit cards or visas. So that's another thing you can do if you want to, if you have a type of a business. We're just using this for educational purposes. So I'm just going to put, I just need a website. Okay. As you can see, there's a lot of different venues. Okay, you could do financial freedom. None of these have to be the topic you choose. You can, and I'll show you how to take this and make it into the topic you choose. What's nice about these is they're already set up. You don't have to start from scratch, so you don't have to put all these different pages in. You don't have to try to put all these different blocks in, all these different headers and footers. So this is just a really quick way to go right into finding a website. Okay. So I, of course, teach yoga, and this just popped up at the beginning. Now, the business ones will have more information about how to contact the business. A portfolio, this might be about you. So what did you do? You could talk about creativeness if you're doing any type of work outside the university in your field. So that could be something. Personal, again, telling about you. You could be advertising an event. So this might be good for any kind of events that we might be advertising, even if they're virtual. This would be a way to really reach people for an event. Can insert a blog. The one website I'm going to show you does have a blog, so you could communicate with students like that, or you could just have your own blog and set it up like this. Some of these are coming soon, so you can talk about something you might be doing in the future, or just other. Okay, so this can be just about anything that you want it to be about. Okay, well, I chose this one. I thought this was fairly easy to explain. I thought it would also be easy to navigate through. So I felt like this was a good one to choose. So obviously, like I said, I teach yoga. So here is here's a preview here. So let's just say I want to make this for my class. Okay, so I want to develop another one for my class. So I need to start over here. So I'm going to have to be changing these around here. So I'm going to start editing. Okay. So put this up here. So we edit. Okay. So as you can see, this comes up. So what's nice here is, so we'll do this app. You can add apps in here. You can connect it to Twitter, you can connect it to Facebook. You can connect it to a lot of different things too. Now here, I'm going to choose yoga and I'll just say it's a physical education, so it's a PEG, okay? And it'll search to make sure that there's nobody else using it. Now these here are, you have to pay for these, okay? But this one here is called a subdomain, and the reason is it has weebly.com, okay, instead of having just a regular professional domain, okay? But it is free with a Weebly account. So I've set up my domain. So I'm done setting up my domain. So we can do the apps later. Reload editor while we do that. Okay. And let's see here. Okay. I'm just going to try to move this up somewhere. Seems like this is kind of in the way. There we go. Maybe I can put it right there. Okay. So I want to change my site. Okay. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to change this here to, I'll have it be yoga PEG 2940. Okay. So that's my yoga class. So I could come here and I see this over here. Now, this is if you want to put a title in, if you want to put a text. What's nice about using something like this is a lot of this is already done for you. So you can take these out if you want to and add new ones, or you can just leave them in like this. And that's very helpful, so you don't have to constantly be adding things. I can add a gallery of pictures. I can add an image, slideshow, contact form. I can embed a code. I can pick and put a button in. And then some of these, if they have this by them, these are upgrades. So I can put a YouTube video in, and I can do a lot of the social icons. So there's a lot of things I can do to add to my website. Okay. Well, let's say I'm like, well, this picture's nice, but I'd like to use a different picture. So what I can do is I can come down here and I can click. You want to come down and scroll down. Do you see these sections here? So we have this section, this section, this section, this section. Now you can take these sections out, okay? Or you can change these sections if you want to, okay? And the way you do that is you want to come down here like this and click on Edit Background, okay? So I would like to edit this image of my background, okay? So I'm going to add an image here. So it's going to come up here and it's going to show me some different images. Now, some of these images are nice. I can choose from some of these images, okay? And some of these would be fine. Or I can choose to upload an image that maybe I've chosen, okay? I can also put in a link to an image, but let's just say I would like to use an image I have. I kind of like purple. Purple is one of my favorite colors. So I want to come down and I want to find my yoga image. Now that's a GIF. I'm going to use that later. So I like this image. I like the color. I just think it's kind of pretty. And so I want to click on that. Okay. So I can put that down. Oh, that went into the wrong one. Oh, well, let's see. So I can put this here. Looks like it was clicking on that one. All right. So I can save this image. Okay. And I can take this image out. Okay. And if I want to, I can leave this in here. Okay. Or I can take this out as well. All right. Delete that. Okay. And then maybe I want to take this out. So what I might put in is this button here. I might want to change this button, okay? So I can change the button text like this, and I can put yoga journal, okay? So let's say I want to give my students a link to yoga journal, okay? So that would put that in there. And then let's say I want to change this button again, and I want to put a yoga journal link in there. Okay, so I could go here and I could put yoga journal. All right. And I can copy this link. I can put this in a click on website URL, put it here, and paste it. And that'll be my link there. Okay, so I want to come up here and I want to put my GIF here. Okay, so I want to edit the background here. I want to replace this with a movement. I like the GIF because when somebody says, oh, they see my website and they're like, oh, that's moving. That's kind of cool. So here is the one I want to use for my top. This is going to get people's attention. Okay, so I can open that. And there we are. And I can save that, see. So like I said, this is kind of gets people's attention. And this will give students some information on the yoga journal. Now, with this, let's say I want to make this bigger. So see, I can drag this down. See, here. And see, that will come up so students can see it better. Okay. So that will be here. Okay, and that will be better for students to see. Okay. So now let's say we're using this page as kind of an introduction page. Okay, so let's say I look at this and I think, well, you know, some of these are okay, but maybe I want these to kind of match. All right, so I can use this, like I said, as a link to a yoga journal. And maybe I want to change this to, and maybe I want to edit this image here. So I can choose to take this image out, okay, and I would click on this button if I wanted to take this image out. But if I wanted to replace this image, I can click on that. Okay, so now let's say I want to replace this image. Again, I can go to Google, I can go to images I have saved, I can do a lot of different things, choose a lot of different images. But let's say I want to kind of match this. So I want to do that, or I could come here and do some more images, maybe these. These are all different kinds of images. So if I go here, all right, I replace this image and I want to resize it. Okay, so it kind of gives a nice feel. Okay, and I can come down here, oops, and resize this. And let's say I want to look at yoga poses. So I want to say yoga poses, okay? And I might put in here beginning yoga class, okay? So that's just kind of, you know, telling them, oh, you know, I have a yoga class. So here's some beginning yoga classes if you would like to take a look at those. So it says, take a look here. So I can change this text button and I can put in yoga classes. Okay. And then I can click on this text button and I can add a link to maybe a yoga video here. So I could go into, usually there's a lot of information in Yoga Journal, but let's say I wanted to go to YouTube, okay, and I wanted to find maybe a yoga class that I could show my students. Maybe I could show an example for my students. So I could say yoga. So I could say yoga class, yoga class. Okay. And so here's a 20-minute vinyasa yoga flow. So that might be something different that maybe students haven't seen before. Maybe they haven't used before. That's a type of flow yoga. It's a different type of yoga. So this is she's very good. So I could click on share with that and copy. Okay. I can come back up here and I can go to a website URL and I can copy and put that in here. Okay. And so that'll be good if somebody wants to look at the yoga class. So they can come here, here, all right? And then I can maybe look here, down here. Okay, whoops, sorry. Okay, so as I would come to this page, maybe I've got a spacer here. Now I can take the spacer out or I can leave it in. The spacer's gonna give like kind of a different, it's not necessarily a page in the website, but it's kind of a break in the website. So if I wanna keep the spacer in here, I could take maybe this picture out, okay? And I could maybe decide to take the spacer out. I could do that. I can take this picture out. So I can choose to have like all these out if I want to, or I can replace them. So that's what's really nice about having this already set up. So I can have, you don't want too much information. So I could just delete a lot of these here, okay? And I could take this out, okay? And then if I wanted to, I could go here and I could decide that I wanted to edit the background. So like maybe I want to add some color to the background. So I could do change color. So let's just say I want to kind of add that here. See, that's a little bright. But let's see, we'll make it a little more like that. Okay, so there we go. I like purple and pink and bright. So it's pretty obvious probably that I like those colors. All right, so that's this area here. So see, they can come into a yoga class. I will look at this and gee, this doesn't really show up like it should. So this is, might want to make that blacker here. So we could do that. I didn't put the B in there. There we go. So I could maybe make this a darker color, or, I could change again, maybe the background is too dark. So again, I can I can edit this background here on this right here. So that might be a little bit dark. So I might want to change the color to that. So just adding that a little bit lighter maybe. So we could kind of have it like that so it looks a little bit better. All right, so it still has a spacer in there. Now, let's just say that I want to put maybe one more item in here. So I have my button, which you can create yourself. But again, since it's already there, that's really nice. That's a nice thing to have. So maybe I want to say, I want to show maybe power yoga. Okay, I'm going to yoga. Okay, power yoga. So okay, I want to make that capital. And I want to have a power yoga. So as you can see, it's hard to see that, isn't it? So I want to go into bold. There we go. And that'll help that to stay a little bit easier for students to see. So I'm going to want to take this out though, and I might say beginning power yoga. All right, so here's my button again. Okay, so I want to change my button, change the button text. So I might say, change, there it is. All right. I might say power yoga. Okay. So then they can watch a power yoga class. So I could put that up here and I could find a nice power yoga class for them to watch. So again, here would be, said this girl's, she's really good if you ever watch yoga. So as, like I said, we could put that in here. So again, I can put that on my button up here. I can put a link, a URL link, and I can paste that here and have that. Well, let's say I just want to take this picture out, or I can replace this picture again. So we can click on here and I can replace the image. Now this would be editing the image, but I don't want to edit this image, but I could. So I could crop it, I can adjust it. There's things I could do with this image. I'm probably going to replace the image though. So I would put replace image, and I want to find, I have another, so I could use this image. And again, I'm going to reshape this, resize it. Okay, move that a little bit. I kind of have here. And again, I'm probably going to want to change maybe the background here. So I'm going to edit it. I want to edit the image, but I want to change. So I'm going to save the image, and then I want to edit the background again. So again, I can edit the background, and I can put in a color that I want to have here for the background. Okay, so edit background. And I can put a color. I can also put an image in here. That might be a little much to put an additional image in there. But again, I can change maybe this background. So if I want to do that, I can also use this to kind of change the background a little bit. So like I said, I can use, if I want to change this one, I could use this one, okay, like that. So I can edit this background. So I'm going to save that. Apparently his pictures there. All right, see here. So so if I want to go down here, okay, I might just want to get rid of this whole thing. So I could do that. See, then I would have this, like this, okay. Now I would like to add, so I'm going to get the space out of here. Get that spacer out. And I might want to add a little bit of color here. Okay, and then that would be to edit the background. And I can edit here. Okay, and see how I want to, I can change the image if I want to. Okay, or I can maybe zoom in the image if I want to do that. Okay, so I can leave this like this. All right, and that would be something that students could see. So they could have yoga journal, they can have the GIF. Those are nice to find. So you could have a GIF at the beginning, then you could have your yoga journal article, you could have some yoga poses, and you could have your power yoga. Okay, so like I said, these are different colors, so it's kind of colorful. It makes it kind of interesting. So again, if you want to look at that. So we've got our first page. So then we're probably like, well, what's this going to look like? Okay, so before you go on to another page, you could publish, and I can check and see exactly what this page is going to look like. Okay, so this is what people are going to see when they look at this page. Okay, and they can scroll down, they can click on that, and they can go to the yoga journal. So there's information there. If they want to learn a yoga class, they can do that. And that's going to take us to the YouTube video. Maybe. There we go. Okay. Okay. And so, okay. Well, my share things over there. There we go. Okay, so then they can go down to and say, oh wow, look, power yoga. That's really cool. I'd like to learn that too. Okay. So again, these are our first page. So we would go back then to Weebly. I can exit that, and then I can continue to edit. Okay. So let me stop here, and I'll stop sharing the screen. Whoops. Stop sharing. There we go. Okay. Are there any questions on the first page? See, there was a chat. Oh. Well, how many, I've got 5 or 6 that I've done. I don't know if there's a limit. And if it would limit you, you could probably just put in a different email address, and just go from there. I've got, like I said, I've got one for each class. So I've got several. So I'm not sure like what the number would be. It'd have to be quite a bit though.
I have one quick question.
Yeah.
Do you find that it is easier for you to use the website than to have to reload everything into Canvas every semester?
Well, and then the thing is, sometimes what happens, like I've had this happen a few times, not a lot, but like it'll go down, and then,
Yeah.
or like we can't log into it, or I like Canvas, but I've found there to be certain things that I've put in Canvas that have been difficult. Like right
Mm-hmm.
now, I'm having students meet because I'm doing asynchronous. I'm having students meet for and I put together a Google Doc in collaboration, and you just click on, and
Mm-hmm.
I put in that everybody could collaborate in the class. I added everyone in the class. I have about half the class that can get into it with no issues whatsoever and sign up for their midterm. And then I have half the class that can't get into it. It won't let them. It's like, I don't understand. Like part of the class can't get in and part of the class can. So I have no
Okay.
idea what the issue is, but I know that's been a really, really inconvenient because when I used it in the spring, like the collaboration, people would just get in and sign up for things. But now it seems like nobody can get into the Google Doc, where like half the class can and half the class can't. So I think like with the website, it is nice because you can just kind of put a link in, and then they
Yeah.
can go right into Canvas, and then you can have everything set up. So you can have all your lectures on Canvas, on the website. Um,
Right.
I use it. So a lot of times I would say like, yes, go to the website and look at this page, and write a reflection or something about this page. So I
Right.
found it to be easier maybe to use than some of the issues I've had with Canvas myself. But
Okay.
yeah, I don't know. That's going to have to be, but yeah, a lot of times too. When I've put videos in Canvas, I've had people who've had like, issues accessing the videos, and they didn't have that in the website. So I have noticed that.
Right.
So,
Okay. Thank
yeah,
you.
sure. Is there any more questions before we go on? Okay. All right. So let's see here. Okay. So we're going to go down here. Share that again. All right. So now we want to go to pages. So in this particular website, students can click on this, okay, and that will go to pages. All right. So it won't here because we're editing it. So I click on pages. So as you see, here's pages. This is one page they already have set up. It's called Shop. Okay. So that's the page that they've set up. Again, we can edit these. So I want to say, maybe I want to put in yoga history. See, this is where I like building a website about a topic you're teaching. So would you say, so I think somebody said they were in social work or in political science. So, like political science, maybe you could have a page dedicated to different candidates, or you could have, different issues, maybe a page dedicated to different issues, where you could have maybe presentations you've created, or news articles, or YouTube videos, or things like that, or like lecture videos that maybe you've taped. So that's what's nice is you can you can take the website and you can divide it by topic. So in my case here with yoga, I can divide that by yoga history. So what is the history of yoga? All right. So I might go into this and say, well, I'd like to learn the history of yoga. So here, let's see, I don't want to add categories. I'm going to cancel that. Okay, there. So I can just go in and just take out this entire thing. As you can see, there's just really one page here. So it doesn't have the page breaks that the other one has. So it does have, if you want to add elements and things like that here. So that's what we're talking about here when we drag elements. So we go back here, we got our page, okay, and we want to build our page, okay. So yoga history. So if I come in here and I say, well, let me see here. I made a Prezi about yoga history, and I also have a YouTube video about yoga history. So I might go in and say, I think I'll go and I'll try to embed a code. So I'm going to drag my embed code over here. Okay. This is loading. Gotta love that. Okay, so I can put my code in here. So let's say that I want to go here to my Prezi. So let's say I created a multimedia presentation. Okay. So as I go into Prezi, and I have history of yoga. So I can go down here and I have my history of yoga. So I can come here and I can click on copy embed code. All right, so I want to copy that to my clipboard, and I want to come up here and I want to put it in. So I want to edit and I want to paste my code, and there we go. So students can see my history presentation. Okay. You can do this too for like a YouTube video. I know, like, I usually, if I have like some type of a lecture or something that I'm doing, especially with lectures, we do need, because of the Americans with Disabilities, it is very nice to have, and I think we're supposed to have our lectures where they're closed captioning. That can be difficult. Sometimes WebEx will give you options for closed captioning, and sometimes they don't. In this particular WebEx link that I've used, it seems like when I go into WebEx through Canvas itself, I don't see a way to do a closed captioning. So a good way to do closed captioning is to put your lectures into YouTube, okay? And then you should be able to click on closed captioning, see? So then that's a nice way. You do have to go into your YouTube account and lengthen it if it's longer than like 10 minutes. That's usually not hard to do. But this is one nice way if your students who may have some type of disability, they can see the closed captioning. So that's why this is always nice to have. Anyways, if you want to put lectures onto that, you can also make it where there's a password, so not just everybody can view the lectures if you don't want them to. So there are ways of getting around that where you can make it private. But that's a nice, like I said, feature, especially for closed captioning, if you have an issue with Canvas with closed captioning. So I can also use this. I can do my YouTube video if I want to. So I could put a YouTube video here for history as well. Okay. So that would be where I would go in here maybe. And I would put my YouTube URL in. I was practicing. So one thing that's nice is it remembers my code. So I only have to put that in once. So that's kind of nice. So there is a story of yoga. And again, students can see this on YouTube. Sometimes other links might work. So I can edit the background of this. I could give it some color if I wanted to. So I could change that from just, a white color to maybe that would be an attractive color. So that would stand out a little bit better. Okay. And then I can take this and make it the entire page. So I can bring this down. Okay. Or I can add some more maybe information. Maybe I could put in another type of a link. So I could put in maybe that presentation. And then if I wanted to maybe say I wanted to add a file here. So I could do, maybe I could add, I could click to upload a file here. So maybe I would want to put in maybe a syllabus. So maybe I have my syllabus here. So if students had questions, I could always, put that in as well. If that is, something that maybe, students wanted to see, they could put in, like I said, I could put in a syllabus there. I could also put in a link to a website. Okay, so that's also something I could put in. I showed you image. If I wanted to put in my own image, okay, maybe I would want to move that here. Okay, and then that also would be an image I could upload. So maybe I wanted to add the history of yoga image. So there, that would also be something that might make that website a little bit interesting. Okay. Or again, I could put in maybe if this is my syllabus, but let's say I want to change that. Okay, so I don't really want that one in there anymore. So I want to upload another file, or maybe I want to put in some type of a link about maybe something interesting maybe I wrote about the history of yoga. Okay, so I can always take that out if I don't want to put anything in there. Or I can have a picture here of the history of yoga. That's going to make this a little bigger. I can always adjust that, resize it like this. So I can make it big or small. So I can always do that to it and make it where this would be information too. Okay, so that is something else I could do with, again, the history of yoga if I wanted to have it like this. Okay. So then that's that page. Okay, well, let's see now, what these pages look like. So we can, again, publish that and click on that. And as you can see, this one works very well. So we go to the icon here and we have a yoga history. Okay, well, it looks like they can look at my presentation about history of yoga, and I can present that. So again, the Prezi would work like this, okay, and where it would have information, okay, how it evolved, and some interesting things about yoga. Then let's say I wanted them to learn about the history. So again, you can put in a closed captioning. So that works out well. And then, of course, I have my picture. Okay, so those are ways that I can see my history. Okay. Now, let's say I want to go on to another page. So we click on Pages, and we have About. So they put what this is about. I can change this. I can add this. Let's say we put in yogic breathing. So we want to learn about yogic breathing. Okay. And again, we can put about, or I can take this out. I can add a text box if I want to. Okay. So I would go back to build, and I could put in maybe a title if I wish to do that. Let me go back. Okay. So I could put in a title there. And I can center it right here like that. And I can put in yogic breathing. All right. So I'm going to make that a little bit attractive. I can change the font. I can change the color. So there's just different ways of doing that. Or I can just have it like this. Okay. So let's say I have a slideshow that I've created, okay, and I want to put that in here. So I would click on Continue. I can make this slideshow however I want it. I can make it thumbnails on the bottom, double thumbnails, or I can just have it where there's a slideshow. So if I want to continue here, right, I can upload a PowerPoint slide that maybe I created, and I have it here. And so here it is. These are in, you can save these, each PowerPoint slide. You just go through and save each individual slide in JPG. That's your picture format. This won't work if you have it in like PDF or regular PowerPoint. So you have to put this in a picture type slide, the JPG format. And again, you can do that by just going into each slide and saving each slide individually in that particular format. So like I said, you can put that in. Then what you would do is you would take this and you would just drag it down like that. And then you would open. So you'd put all of those in at the same time. And then you wait for it to come up. And we would click Save. And here would be our yogic breathing. Okay. So, like I said, we can kind of make this how we want it to be. So it would be where they can, like I said, see the slideshow. Now, let's say that I don't like it this way. I want it to be a different format. So I can take my slideshow and maybe I would like to have thumbnails at the bottom. So I could always fix it like this. I can put that in and I can do my yogic breathing again. And I can go down some more, open that. And I can always use it, like I said, in a different format if I wish to do it that way. And save. So that should show up where, as you can see, it's a little bit of a different format. Okay, so, and again, that's kind of up to whatever you would like to do with this. I can edit the background. I can make this a color. The video, anything that's got this star or this like lightning bolt here, you have to pay for that. Okay, so you can't put a video in the background unless you get that. So again, maybe I can make this kind of that color. Put that there. Right. I could bold this, make it bigger, make it dark. Yeah. So we could do that. I could change that. So, you know, another way, so we can have it like a scrolling effect. So we want to have it like this. Could have something like that. Some of these don't show up until you publish them. So if we publish this and see what those look like. So again, we come here and I can look at my yogic breathing. So I could put this through. I could hit play. See, and they can read that. And it can automatically just go through. So I could do that with my PowerPoint slides. So that would run like that. And I can pause it. They can also go through themselves if they want to. They don't have to use that. Okay. So we have that. Now, if you want to add, you can add apps. Again, if you don't pay for this, there are some apps that are limited. So, you know, again, a lot of these are really for, like, if you're using this, you know, you can hook it up to Facebook, Instagram. Some of these, as you can see, are free. Some of them are premium, which means you have to pay for them. Okay, so that kind of depends on what you want to do with that. So if you want to go back here, this is just kind of a basic website. So let's say I want to go here and I want to have some updates. Okay. Now, if this is in a blog format, so I can decide to keep the format, or I could decide to create a blog post. So let's just say I wanted to put in a new post, and I might say, what? So I might do this where I have it here. And I might say, what have you learned in this class? So that would be something. And then I would come up here, okay, and I would post it. Okay, so that's publishing the post, okay. And then this would show up again. It shows up in the publishing. So there are 0 comments right now. So if I go into and I look and see the website, okay, so this might be something you could do instead of a discussion board even. Something maybe a little bit different where students could talk or post things in kind of a blog, okay. So I have 0 comments so far. I can share this with my students. I can tweet this. I can put like on Facebook. So these are some things too you could do if you wanted to, with adding some social media to this particular class. So somebody else could comment on my post maybe, and there aren't any comments right now, but they could delete the post, or they could decide to comment on it. I could look at my blog settings. How many posts do I want? Do I want, what kind of apps would I like to add? So this is something, I could do if I wanted to, where students could, discuss some different things if they wanted to do that. So somebody could put in, they can answer if they want to. Like I said, you can see there's no comments here right now. You can show recent, but that would be something that students could do once this would be published, that they could maybe say, yeah, I'd like to talk about the class, or, maybe what was your experience? So that is, again, something you could do if you wanted to. So like if you clicked on the updates, so here's the feed. So that's the XDML. We don't want to do that. Okay, so like I said, we go back. So like I said, this could be something that students could talk to you about, something kind of different. So if we went back here, we would want to change. We could change that. You can share that. So you could share that with the students. We would probably want to change the name of it. So we could put in blog. Okay, put in blog. All right. So that would be something you could do with that. Now, I could also put in some of my contact information. So if I wanted to go to the last page, you can make another page. Okay, so you can add another page. You could do that by putting that. Okay, and that could be a standard page, a blog page. Okay, so let's say I didn't want to use the blog page, but it's kind of set up for a blog page. Okay, so what I could do here is, so I go back in here. So what I could do is, as I edit this, okay, I would edit my website. If I go out and I want to change something, let's see here, there we go. And as it loads, there we go. So if I wanted to go into these pages, and let's just say, well, I don't want to do this blog. I think that might not be something people are interested in. I can just delete it. Okay, I can delete the whole page. Okay. So then if I wanted to, I could add maybe, I want to say maybe I could add another page in its place. So I can set up this page with a footer, a header. I can do a page title. I can have no header. Okay, so a footer and a header is just like when you write a paper, you have a footer and a header, so you can have that. So you can have public visibility. You can use a password for the site. So if you don't want, everybody looking into your classroom site, you can always set a password for that site if you want to. So you can also control the visibility. You can control the visibility of one page versus the whole site as well. So let's just say, I want to add maybe some health benefits of yoga. So we have health benefits of yoga. Okay, so then that's a new page I want to add. So I want to take out that page. And so I can I can go through here and I can look at my health benefits. So let's say I want to add the health benefits. So again, this can completely be changed. I can add or take away whatever I want to. I put the Glogster in here, but when I practiced it last night, the Glogster did not show up. So I don't know if it's because the Glogster is now a pay or not. But I can show you here. You can center this, and then you can put health benefits of yoga. Okay. And if I wanted to, again, put in some type of multimedia or any type of, so I can take this, I can edit this text, or I can just get rid of it. I need to click the button here to go back. Okay. And I'm going to click on build. Okay. Because that's how I'm going to build my websites here. Okay. So let's just say I don't want this in here though. I'm like, I don't want that in here. So I want to embed another code. So I'm going to drag this over here. All right. Now, if I would go into Glogster, okay, again, they changed this where this site used to be a free site. It doesn't look like it is now. I don't know if I was grandfathered in. I don't know. But I can still access my documents. So if I wanted to go into Glogster, well, this is just an example. There's other free sites you can use that don't require you to pay for anything. But I have this already that I created. And so I would go into my Glogster. And again, you can do this with other free sites. Okay. But this does have information about the health benefits of yoga. So I would again click to embed a code again. I would copy that code and then I would bring it in here. Now, I would edit the custom and then I would copy and paste my Glogster in here. And it should come up. It came up on the other one, but then again, I don't know if it's because this is not paid. I know in the past it's come up, but it would only come up if you published it. So you do kind of need to look at your multimedia. I know PowerPoint, YouTube, and Prezi are definitely multimedia or types of videos that you can use in here. I think the Glogster, for some reason, it shows up in my old one that I made, but it's the same Glog, but it doesn't show up in this one, or it didn't when I practiced it before. Let's see if it shows up now. So, let's see. So I don't think it does. Like I said, yeah, it doesn't. So for some reason, like I said, the outline of it shows up, but for some reason it doesn't show up anymore. So you probably can't use the Glogster. I had it actually show up when I practiced this a couple days ago, but it won't anymore. So I don't know, like I said, if that has something to do with the fact that Glogster now charges and that you can't do that anymore. So, but anyways, you can use this with, again, PowerPoint, any kind of files, YouTube videos, anything like that. So let's say I would like to find something, I can add a button. Okay, so I could put another button in here, right? And then I can put my button text. So that's how you would create a button. Okay, you would just drag that over here. And then I could put in a new button text. So I could say health benefits. Okay, so I could do that. Of yoga. Okay. So again, that would be something I can put in there. And I could put in a link like I did before with that. I can move this, like I showed you. I could put in a gallery of pictures. So I could upload several different pictures. I could drag the pictures from maybe my photo album that maybe I would have. So I could maybe go here, click on photos. So here's some of my classes that I've been teaching synchronously. So I don't think I can, so I might be able to pick that, or maybe I did a multimedia workshop. So, here's some, different photos that could be uploaded here. So those would be, so that would be a photo. So these would be different galleries. Maybe I could upload those from my photos. I can upload those from my files, anything like that. I can, my Glogster showed up. So here we go. So this is what it should look like. But I think when I did it must have just taken a while. I think when I did when I actually published it, I don't think you could see the Glogster. Maybe I'm wrong here. But last time I tried this, it didn't work. So let's see if it works. Oh, it does. Okay. Maybe I just didn't give it time to load. So anyways, you can use the Glogster with this, apparently. It does work. Again, maybe I just didn't give it time to load. Might take a little longer to load. But then that's what's nice here is, students can click on this. They can show meditation videos. But again, this isn't a free account. So Glogster is not free. But there are other, like Canva, Tasha showed me that last time, is something that is free. It's Canva. Thank you, Tasha. I really appreciated you showing me that before. And that is free. So it's very similar to this. So this is another thing that you could put in here. So as you can see, any multimedia process like this is really nice for showing students. You can also tape a lecture in something like this as well, and put that in too. So again, this apparently takes a little bit longer to load than the Prezis do, but they are embedded codes. Okay, so I can put my button in there if I want to. This divider is going to divide. So that might divide this. So I could put a divider in if I want to divide these two things. So if I wanted to put a picture here, I could put a picture here, and then I would have this down here. So this is a divider. And that's what, if you go back here to these pages here, like at the beginning for home, that's what they have in here. They have these are dividers. So you can put those in as spacers or dividers in between different information that you would like to show. So then, so this would be, like I said, all the information about this course. Of course, you can update this as things change. Yoga doesn't change a lot, but certain things that, you would teach it, like if laws change or different things change, this could be updated to reflect that. What's kind of neat too is you could also do like a survey. So I could put in like a new page. I could add a page, and I could say, I could just say standard page. What I could do here is I could also do so if I wanted to put in a new page, I could do that. But I could do see, that went back. I could do a survey page. So let's say I wanted to put in a survey page. Okay, so let's say I wanted to do that. So that's something where I would go back to build. Okay, and I would have my survey. So I would go here to survey. Okay, so that put in that must have put in this picture. I'm not sure why it did that, but okay. So we're going to replace this and delete it. Okay, so that put in that. Okay, so I could put in a survey. So let me go down. Let's see, there we are. Okay, there is a survey section. Where'd it go? It was here. There it is. So I can drag this, and I might be able to ask students questions. You know, I could click here and edit this site, and I can edit all of these. Okay, so those would be a way I could ask students some questions. So the survey would come up. Again, I can edit, you know, all these different ways. I can change the options. So that would be something I could do to kind of survey students. So I could do that. If I go back here, I could always just say, I decided I didn't want to do that. I could just take that page out. Okay. Also, what's kind of nice too is I could go into pages here, and I could add another page, and I could do an external page. Okay, so let's say I decided I want this page to be external. And this is what I did if you looked at the first website I showed. So I'll go back into my website I did here. So if you go here to this website, come on, there we go, where I have this linked to my assignments. Now, as you can see, this is linked to my spring assignments, okay? And again, you have to have a username and password to get into this, all right? But what I did was I went in and I linked, so this could be assignments. So you can link this back to Canvas if you want to. So I could go into my discussions here, discussion topics, copy, and I can put this into Canvas. Okay. So open link in new tab. If you want to do it's better to, so I see it's hidden from search engines, but it's better to put it in a new tab, because if you put it in the same tab, it'll replace the website. So if you're asking students to say, look at the health benefits page, that'll take away the health benefits page and it'll go right into assignments. So by doing it this way, I could say, look at the health benefits page, and then they could do the assignment like that. So if I published this and then I linked it here, I might say, okay, for the assignment, I want you to do a discussion. So you go to the assignments, and then that's going to take you, well, it says it. That's probably because the course is no longer going. But anyways, so you see they could go into the history section, okay, and they could, this course is no longer published, is why that would have done that. But as you can see, they could go into the history section, and then they can toggle back and forth and do the assignment. So that is kind of, and then like I said, you could publish it along the way to make sure it looks right. Make sure the links work, make sure everything is okay. Great. Do you have, okay, let's see if there's any questions. All right. Okay, that's fine. Oh, that's okay. All right. So does anybody else have any questions? So that's kind of in a nutshell how to put together that website. So does anybody have any comments, questions? Okay. Yes, thank you. Okay, great. Yes. Well, like I said, I'm going to post this. So if you want to go back and look and see how to do some of these things, again, if you use the Weebly domain, it is free. There's just it'll tell you before you go into the upgrades or all the the lightning bolts. So anything else is free though, so it's a very nice feature. Hopefully it doesn't start doing what Blogster did and start charging you for things. So, all right. Okay, well, thank you for coming. I hope everybody has a great day. Bye. Bye. Bye.